let me break it down to you. I feel like that's why my sports takes get a little bit of a respect. Now, in that particular game, you got to think momentum, right? You got to take into account that teams that didn't get home field advantage might just be on tilt a little bit. The Lions ain't never make it to the playoffs and ever have a bye ever. Like since my daddy been alive, that ain't never happened. Um, what I will say is we was already just damaged on defense. It was like having one leg and one arm, and one is they both on the opposite side. You really couldn't pull off no magic tricks if you wanted. I do think that being that kind of temperamental, you take something like a Meek Robinson arm blowing up, and all the guys knowing that he's a special energy source, especially on a beat up defense. I was at a Lions bar that's in Silver Lake, and when a Meek
Mhm.
Robinson arm blew out, bro, that shit went from we was hyped to god damn, dog. Like, what the fuck else can happen? And if you know sports, if you play sports, it's almost like when Derrick Rose went down. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was the team gonna do after that? Because we
Right,
still
exactly.
we still human beings. So no matter how much of a professional athlete you are, that whole secondary seeing bro go out. I feel like that killed a little bit of momentum. I think that the Commanders was prepared for us to run, and then we tried to throw it, and it just wasn't the call. And I explained to you, like, I know it sounded like all of Detroit was on Ben Johnson head, but the details of it is this: like, you ain't never called no game like that. First of all, Jameer only had 14 carries, but when the game started, you had Demo out there. So it's all these different things where it's like, bro, is your head in the game? And why the fuck you got Jameson Williams throwing a pass? It's all of these different things where we were like, bro, come on, dog. And then for it to be 2 days later and you already knew where you was gonna go, and you on TV talking about, oh, I couldn't wait to be here. We was just like, nigga, what if we would have won? How the fuck you was gonna do that? So we not on his head because y'all got him. We got on his head because it's like, nigga, you was too ready to go. You wasn't paying attention.
So,
And
do
that's
you
why
think?
when Aaron Glenn got his job, you saw everybody was hyped. We was just like, yeah, go about your business, big dog. Like, you did right by us. And you made gold out of shit pretty much the whole season. We had 16 niggas on IR. And then our biggest star then cracked his leg open. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of different details that went into that. Cause we was like, hey, bro, how you call the worst game of your life? And then you already just, you know what I'm saying? Oh,
Here's
Chicago.
my question. Here's my question for you, because I think that a lot of offense coordinators, I think that playoffs in general is who's going to tweak less, and we see a lot of offensive coordinators who
Yeah.
be tweaking off. Even somebody as great as Matt LaFleur, who we just brought up.
Joe Brady just tweaked the fuck off.
Joe Brady,
He,
Kyle Shanahan tweaks at the wrong place. I think, yeah, Ben didn't call his best game, but Jared
no, but
Goff threw 4 interceptions.
Jared Goff threw 4 interceptions because they was going. I saw how I know how Washington was setting up the shit. You know what I mean? They was like, if somebody gonna beat us, it ain't gonna be Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? We get him out of the shit, but we got third. We in 3rd and 1. You gonna go empty backfield, brother? Like, why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watched Saquon Barkley stomp motherfucking wine grapes out of the goddamn uh who was the Commanders defense.
Yeah.
We had the same options. We ain't throwing space and none of that shit. It just was a bad game called by someone that was highly decorated, and it just seemed like you had already had your family moved over there. Y'all already making plans to do your press conference, and it's like, dog, did you just want the season to be over so you could get about your business, or was you really invested? And I think it's the latter, and that's why niggas was on his head because it's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? At least be over here to you over there. Don't be in 2 spots at one time. And I'm actually, once I think everybody in Detroit, once we saw Ben Johnson's presser, It was just like, all right, we get it, bro. You know what I mean? Like him and Amon-Ra had this exchange where Amon-Ra and his brother got this podcast.
Yeah, I
And I
saw
guess
that.
he
Yeah,
I guess he told Sun God, like, if I'm gonna be the best, then I gotta beat the best and be where I know I'm at. I understand his, seeing Caleb and being like, dog, do you know what I could do with that? You know how I could do with that? But
right.
my thing is just like, bro, I lived in Chicago for 15, 16 years, nigga. Do you know how they treat people over there sports wise? Do you understand, nigga? They aren't happy to be here. They owe your motherfucking noggin for everything. Now, this is how I know. I was like, bro, that nigga Ben Johnson not ready for this shit. I remember when me and Mikey used to live downtown across from Grand Park, and it was the first game that Jay Cutler was playing for Chicago. And we just had sports radio on, like, through the ride from the airport. Bro, they was in that nigga eyeballs, bro.
Well, to be fair, he threw 5 interceptions like against the
That's what I'm
Packers.
saying is,
That's not how you start off your career.
it ain't been a coach. I still think this. Y'all got to do right by Lovie Smith before y'all luck get back together.
Bang, I'm gonna let you take this. I'm tired of Lovie Smith shit.
Yeah.
I am so tired.
Nah, you can't be tired of it.
So
You
look,
can't
I
be
get
tired
it.
of
I get all of the last game, Ben Johnson stuff. But you had went on social and basically was like, "Yo, he not gonna be as good as y'all think he is coming over here." So why do
No,
you
no, I
think?
don't think he's a head coach at all. The
Yeah,
man doesn't
so
have
why
to
do you
speak
think he's not? Why do you think he is not a head coach and won't be successful? Hit the
because
crib.
I think when you see him and you hear about, players talk or just post game pressers, he's obsessed with being a play caller. That's his only responsibility. He is really good at that. Do you know how many play callers get the head coaching position and fizzle the fuck out? Like,
That's some, but there's a lot who haven't.
Cliff Kingsbury, wasn't he a coach? Wasn't he a head coach at once?
Yeah, he's first, but Kyle Shanahan, Matt
Chip
LaFleur,
Kelly.
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay he's an anomaly a little bit because he seems a little bit off and kind of that
Kyle
crazy.
Shanahan.
But Sean McVay is loud. Like, he knows how to command that attention from people. When you are soft spoken, you don't get the same. You know what I mean? You don't get the same reaction out of your players. Now, just because y'all division rivals, yeah, I'm a little biased. But when I take out and I'm thinking with common sense, yes, the X's and O's on offense is something y'all needed. It ain't been an offensive game plan over there since I don't know when the
That's
fuck. It
another
could have
one.
been
Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's a good one. Go ahead.
Kevin O'Connell's a good one, but they're a little bit more energetic. You know what I'm saying? Ben Johnson ain't never ran down the sideline. You ain't even seen his fist pump up. Like, he'll call a crazy ass play. We scored a touchdown and he's even killed. Even killed is good for play calling. It's great for play calling. But like,
Andy
now
Reid, I hear what you're saying. I just feel like if Andy Reid, that's another. Andy Reid Andy Reid never moves. Like you never see Andy Reid. So like, is there anything game plan wise? And of course, yeah, I've said this even before we hired Ben that we don't know how this is going to turn out. He could be a bust, but at least if you're going to go down, I said the same thing with Caleb last year. Let's just say this whole thing fails, right? Let's just say Caleb isn't what we thought he was. Ben's not what we thought he was. I can live with that because at least you went for the top targets. The Bears never do that. Like, even as great as I'm not a Lovie Smith lover like everybody else. Like, this fan base treats him like he was Jimmy Johnson.
but he got to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman.
And that's awesome. But if we're looking at a full time in 8 years, you made the playoffs 3 times. That's cool. I don't blame him for them reason they lose the Super Bowl. I blame Rex Grossman for them losing that Super Bowl. I can still see that interception in the rain to Kelvin Hayden like it happened yesterday. But I feel like at least with Ben, if it fails, at least you went to go get the guy and actually paid him. That never happens with the Chicago
Bears. I get y'all stance, and it's like I said, I'm biased. You know what I mean? Like,
which I love, by the way. I always say I have no problem with Lions fans saying he's our enemy now. That I have no issue with because it's a division rivalry, and not you specifically, but I saw some fans. I just don't agree with the Ben already picked the job. He's like, I'm finna screw this up for the Lions because if y'all would have went to Super Bowl, he gets more money. If you guys actually go to Super Bowl and win,
what I think was just. I don't think there's no way he intentionally because there's no benefit in that. Like, there's no benefit. And what I'm saying is I don't believe everybody's not a multitasker, man. Like, especially if you are like high level performance at one thing, usually the thing that you do second best comes in third or fourth best. You know what I mean? Like, when you are focused and you are savant at one thing, being kind of good at another thing makes the super talent, kind of peel off a little bit. I think that I think that Ben just thought that we could game our way out of that shit. And we almost could have. There was a couple times where it was like, we don't fuck up. We don't have penalties. We don't got 12 niggas on the field. And
that's why I think the hate should go to Jared Goff. Because
no, it did. It did. Don't think it didn't.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line.